and I figured, spend a few minutes on camera because I had a couple things I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about, if you haven't checked it out, I have a new video posted on FS Avenger. It's been about 3-4 days. That I entitled it "Real N-Words versus Real Men." And yes, I talk about the issue of the real. Some niggas like call themselves to say that they're real N-words. I deal with that. And what I touch on briefly in that video is the fact that it seems that these real N-words are becoming more and more active, more and more emboldened, and it's all around the amount of rights and civil liberties that are being extended to these real Negroes, that they can run around here now and do things, and like I said, and I mean that, hide behind their rights, because these real Negroes don't give a shit about anybody or anything except themselves and those who they feel are part of their inner circle, so to speak. Just like I told you about the day of the king, when we as people are given our own homeland, it's going to be run by the Negro with the most guns and the most niggas, the biggest army or the biggest gang is going to run wherever we live at, and it's going to be a dictatorship. It's not going to be a democracy. I guarantee you that shit, right? And we can look at it very clearly. Something like the Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad didn't have they wasn't running no democracy. He didn't really have a successor necessarily. The one that really came out and spoke, it was really like a shock at the end when they found out that he had some say he did, some say he didn't appoint or anoint Wafdin Muhammad to be his successor. It wasn't something that was clear. He was in power and he kept power to the day he dropped dead. And it looks like that's going to be the case with Mr. Farrakhan, as it has been with Mobutu Sese Seko, Papa Doc Duvalier, and many other dictators, black dictators throughout this planet. And we see a similar appetite, and we see a similar disposition in these so-called real niggas who don't really give a shit about, although if you ask me, they would probably say they do, but they really don't. And no, it's not. I was gonna say it's cool, but no, it's not cool, especially when people are fighting for you not to be shot, not to be illegally, or someone to arrest you without real cause, whatever the case may be. And we have a situation where the police are now in a place where they don't want to stop you, they don't want to, do anything that may cause you to, there may be a situation where they may get some backlash, And so I think that's what's leading to this rise in killings and shootings and a lot of other shit that goes on in the black community. This is part of it. Along with the fact that part of this pandemic also, the pandemic is a perfect backdrop. It's just a perfect situation, for the crime rate to skyrocket in the black community. I mean, how incredibly, how can you say this, coincidental it is that one of the responses to this pandemic is the wearing of the mask. The wearing of the mask, right? I mean, could you really think of, if I want, and you can wear it anytime, any place. You could be riding your car, and the police, they wouldn't feel anything see you wearing, and wear any kind of mask you want. Now I have mine. Let me see if I probably can't find it right now. Let me look and see if I can find my mask, one of my masks that I bought recently. And I bought this one early on in the pandemic, and I had to buy it again because of the new mask mandates. I'll put it on now so you can see it. And you can actually wear this out in the fucking street. And the police, not only can't they say anything to you, they're not supposed to say anything. You're encouraged to do this. Let me see if I can put this thing on the right way. I don't know if I can do it. Let me try. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. I can actually walk around like this, looking just like this, and nobody, police, anybody else, really They can't say anything to me. I mean, how convenient this mask wearing is to those who have nefarious thoughts, ideas, and purposes. If you're a stick-up kid, or if you want to kill somebody, I mean, can anything be more perfect than that you now have? It's mandated. It's the law. In my city, you have to wear a mask inside. Well, they just reinstituted that. Well, you have to wear a mask in your public transportation. You have to wear a mask indoors, certain places. So, I mean, if you're a person that is involved in some kind of criminal activities, I mean, this is the perfect storm. You could just, and then the camera, you have no fear of the camera. They have 1,000 cameras around. Doesn't make a difference. I got this on. You can't tell if I can't put a hat on and a hoodie over this. Don't need a hoodie to put a hat on. Like I told you, I went to the store one time recently, and the broad in behind, I couldn't hear because I have my headphones. I told you I have my headphones. I couldn't hear her. She's banging on the glass, telling me what to take my fucking hoodie off. Now I wasn't wearing, and I wasn't wearing a mask at the time, right? She told me to take my, but now if I had a mask on, she couldn't tell me that. She wouldn't be able to tell me to take my fucking mask off. So they tripping about a hoodie, and in some stores that had a rule where they wouldn't allow you to wear a hoodie inside the store because you could conceal your identity. Well, and so I think again, this is something that is not, accidental. This is something that's by design, because as you can see, the murder rate in a lot of communities, especially where I'm living, that has doubled or tripled since last year, and it's getting worse every day. But the crazy part about it, the most amazing thing about it, and most of the shootings that I've seen on YouTube, as crazy as it seemed, none of these motherfuckers were wearing fucking masks. Nobody was wearing no fucking mask. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That, you have an illegal gun and you're shooting somebody without a fucking mask on. That just shows that, you're how stupid you are, and you definitely need to be locked up under the fucking jail for the rest of us ever left your fucking stinking life, if you're really that dumb. But then a lot of motherfuckers are wearing the mask, and they are using it to cover their identity when they go out shooting motherfuckers. It's just a perfect storm. And the pandemic, again, it facilitates that, in a lot of places. So these real niggas, so to speak, who make a living, doing illegal shit, whatever the case, which I don't knock them for that per se. But then at the same time, it's problematic when, the side effects of their activity is something that you can't deny. I mean, especially talking about drugs. We talk about the crack epidemic. Well, people had to get money to buy crack. They had to get money to buy crack. They stole shit. They broke into your car. They tried to rob you. They tried to steal whatever you had to go sell it so they could buy crack. Same thing was when heroin was out. One of the famous stories, a personal story of mine is one of my cousins was a junkie back in the 60s, and he actually climbed the fire escape into my aunt's apartment and stole her TV. And people saw the nigga coming down the fire escape with the TV, but he was so strung out on dope that he had to get that money so he can get his TV. So that's one of the side effects of when you deal in drugs. So even though I say, man, nigga gotta do what nigga gotta do, and I still say that, this is part of what has to be dealt with. It has to be talked about. And one thing that I've noticed, because I was watching something on TV, as regards to criminal activity, especially when you get money and it seems like you're in something that you can't be busted, or it will be very difficult for you to be busted. And I noticed this even when I was on my little criminal trip back in the early 90s. The only thing that's going to stop a motherfucker that's getting money and he's involved in some kind of criminal activity where the money's good is either death or jail. There's nothing going to stop a motherfucker from doing that. And I was watching that. These dudes, black dudes, had an insurance scam going in Philly, and it had involved car accidents. And it was a really a good fucking plan. But what happened? They got greedy and they wanted more, and they was making money. They was making millions of dollars a year off this fucking insurance scam. But they were incorporating hundreds of people like regular people and paying people to crash their cars and they had a shop where the guy would come and he would do more damage to increase the the amount of the insurance payout. And then he had a doctor that the people went to, and I was involved with that one time. I mean, I should have mentioned the fucking lawyer's name and sent him to the bogus doctor for the back shit, for this condition in your back, soft tissue damage where we have this heat therapy. We go heat therapy 2-3 times a week. They had that going, and they was making money. But ultimately, the whole thing came crashing down. And one dude, the mechanic, he turned state's evidence. And and he didn't get any time. But the ringleader, Big Black, his name Big Black or some shit, he got like 18 years in federal penitentiary. Another one got 8 years, and it was you know. So if you're going to be involved in criminal activity, I'll tell you motherfucker that's involved in crime and you getting money like that, hey man, put some of that money away. Save some of that money for a rainy day, because a rainy day is going to come. You're going to get locked up. You're going to jail. You're going to face some time, especially if it's, you know, some serious shit. And so this is just kind of a little commercial for that. But so I made that video, you know, real N-word versus real men. That's on FS Avenger. And another thing I want to talk about is a documentary that I watched. I watched it over and over again because, like I told you, I was really into watching, you know, videos related to 9/11, right? Well, this video is not necessarily about 9/11, even though 9/11 is mentioned. It's really about the whole society and what the society is really all about, for real, for real. And again, who really runs the society, how it's set up, why it's set up, how we are basically just, like I said, we're like farm animals. They have harnessed our wants and desires. They have given us an appetite for material shit that if left to our own devices, we wouldn't even think about producing. But they produce this shit, we consume it, and we're like hamsters on a fucking treadmill going around and around and around until we drop dead, and then somebody else takes our place, whatever the case may be. But it's a very, very deep video. One of the areas they talk about, I mentioned to you, and I mean, it's amazing because this is the first time I saw this video a couple of days ago, and I really didn't know anybody else shared this concept or this idea, and then they broke it down so thoroughly, and they broke it down so perfectly, and it's a reality. This is a reality that you have groups of people. They talk about this from Roman times. They talk about the Bible and how the Bible is a tool to enslave you. It's about enslaving you spiritually. They talk about Constantine, the Roman, over in the Vatican, and how they sat down and wrote this book up to do just that. And if you read the Bible, when the Bible say you are a prisoner, if you become a Christian, you are a prisoner or a slave to Jesus Christ. That's what it says. You're a prisoner of the Lord Jesus Christ. And if you look at Jesus Christ, where is he? He's on the cross. He's suffering on the cross. He's being sacrificed. He's sacrificing himself for the betterment of all mankind. And you're supposed to be in a similar situation. You're supposed to follow that example, to be, like Jesus and long suffering and all the rest of that crap. And I don't want to knock anybody this week. I know there's nothing I can say or anybody else can say that's gonna take anybody out of their faith. That's not what I'm trying to do, attempting to do. I'm just saying you can have faith in a lot of things. People have faith in all kinds of shit, and it's just no different than this so-called living God. People who believe in voodoo believe just as strongly as you believe in that if they go to their witch doctor, whoever it is, he's going to give them some potion and they're going to feel better. Or that if somebody gets a doll and sticks pins in it, they're going to feel the pain of being stuck by the pins, whatever the case would be, because they believe that strongly in it. The witch doctor of any indigenous tribes, the same thing. He puts together potions and he puts together spells for people, and they feel better or they feel worse because they believe in that shit. They believe that this actually does something for them. It's all about the mind. It's all about the power of the mind, to control our feelings and to give us a sense of wellness or a sense of feeling bad, whatever the case may be. But the main thing that they said in regards to that is how that by giving us religion has separated us from nature, which we are attached to whether we want to be or not. And now we're no longer a part of nature. We have accepted this book and what's in the book, and however it's been manipulated, because it has been manipulated over hundreds of years. It's been twisted and turned in every kind of way, but they gave us that instead of how we're supposed to live. A lot of us don't believe that, but this is when I call it normally and naturally. And we don't want anything to do with living normally and naturally, as men and women are supposed to live. Which where you have a relationship with a piece of geography, wherever that may be, where you have the resource you need, water, land to grow food, and you interact with other living things who have a right to live around you, and they flow around you, live their life, and you live yours. And your spiritual beliefs, your belief in what God is, a higher power is, all emanates from your immediate environment. The trees, the water, animals, the crops that you grow, all help to make up whatever is a part of what you believe this thing called God is, or the higher power, or your spiritual belief system. Things are taboo. There's things that you don't do. There are things that you do that will bless you and that will make your crops grow better, whatever the case may be. If you perform certain rituals, all people have this throughout the world, wherever they may be. People who have never came in contact with each other have some spiritual belief system that consists of these things. And I thought that was something very interesting that was mentioned in this documentary. The documentary, by the way, if I don't forget, I'm going to try to remember to post a link to this documentary. It's about an hour and a half long. And it's going, but I definitely recommend that you watch this documentary. It's called Zeitgeist, the movie. There's a series of documentaries with that title, Zeitgeist. But this one really goes like into some things that and they talk about 9/11. They talk about 9/11 in its true context, that it was a false flag operation, like there have been many other false flag operations. And not only they give the background information, and they give you the facts behind it, and you hear people speaking from that time telling you that, hey, this shit is some fake shit, this is some made up bullshit, this is to get us through. It happened in World War I, World War II, Vietnam, and 9/11. It's all by the same people, the same group, and they break it down for you. So we're involved in something. Again, we're basically just, they have turned us into some form of farm animal. Human beings, we're no longer men and women anymore. We really are sheep and cattle, sitting in the pasture chewing our cud, waiting to be taken to the slaughter. Well, they want to slaughter us, so they make money off our activity. As long as you're out here and you're spending money and you're buying this and you're buying that, they get paid. And of course, this money system that we're on is going to collapse. It has to collapse. The whole thing has to be collapsed, and it will be, because the game has to be reconfigured now. Just like with the World Trade Center being destroyed, they had to be destroyed. Why? So they can be rebuilt to be more efficient, more effective, more economical, and all the rest of that, which is more modern, which it is, which could not have been done through any other mechanism besides the way that they did it. And there is no easy way to really break this whole system down. It has to be done deliberately. It's going to be violent. And it's going to take a long time. It's going to involve the death of many millions upon millions of people. There's no way around that. And 9/11 lets you know very clearly and without no doubt that there are motherfuckers that have power here who will kill you and everything you know and love and not fucking blink. And they don't give a fuck about who you are, how big and bad you are, how big your balls are, how honest you are, how fucking caring and loving you are, how much you love this country or any fucking thing else. All they care is about their power because they're sick. They're sociopaths. They had in one scene. They had one of the Rockefellers, one of the grandchildren of Rockefeller. He was speaking, and the guy that he was speaking to, he was actually telling this guy a year before 9/11 happened that 9/11 was going to happen and why, and exactly what was going to happen after that event. And the guy said he stopped being his friend. He even, he played the tape and all of that shit of this guy, this Rockefeller, one of the grandchildren of one of the Rockefeller family. He said, yes, this is what's going to happen. And so we're being played in so many ways, but again, like dumb farm animals, we focusing on each other, as we should do, as farm animals should. And we bite each other on the back, and we attack each other, as a farm animal should, and as a slave should. Our focus and our hate should be for each other, and not for our master. That's only right, and that's exactly what's happening here. So I want to recommend it. I want to talk about that real quick to encourage you to watch. It's another documentary I definitely want to encourage you to watch, and you will find very informative. And it will direct you to understand who really rules and reigns in this country. Not only that, but runs and decides whether your children have a fucking future or not. It's not you. It's not your wife. It's not nobody in your face. It's them, because they have separated you from nature. See, in the past, it was a situation where the relationship was between you and nature. Nature decided whether if there was a flood or if a drought happened, then you would be affected by it. That's something between you and nature. Now, they have interjected themselves between you and nature. Now they decide what the quality or quantity of your life is going to be on this fucking planet. And we have no problem with that at all. None at all. And again, because we're, because farm animals, that they turned us into, of course we're not supposed to think about these things. We're not supposed to care about these things. That would be ridiculous for us. Why would a cow, what would make a cow think about being taken to the slaughter? What would make a pig think about being killed? That's not something that pigs do. Pigs wallow in mud. Pigs eat slop. That's what the pig and cows moo and they chew their cud. They don't think about things past that. That would be ridiculous. And it's the same thing. This is how thoroughly we have been dumbed the fuck down and blinded. We've blinded ourselves to believe something that's not true. We live inside the fucking matrix that we believe we actually control our destiny and lives, and we don't. That's just how the fuck it is. I don't know. There's more that I can say, but I've said everything that I want to say at this time. So I'm gonna do it this time. Let me cut this video short. Thank you for your time, and you take it easy, everybody. Take it easy. I'll be back with you later. Be good.
on God. Broke, too good. Real boss, nigga got the woods. Pretty face, but I'm known for hitting good. Yeah. Got him like, too good. To the yard, he ain't never leave this pretty on God. Broke, too good. Real boss, nigga